Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see if those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, y'all see the title Season 2, Episode 7 Venus versus Mars. This is Reasonable Doubt. Y'all, this episode had me in my feelings. Do you hear me? Do you feel it? This episode had me in my feelings. All right, if you want to support this channel for the free, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. If you want to support this channel monetarily, my Cash App is scrolling down at the bottom of the screen, and memberships are available. Listen, this episode had me in my feelings. So, what I want to do is go over the little stuff, and then we're going to get to the main stuff. So, DA lady, the DA has rested their case. They came back with Tony. She was the last witness on the case. Baby, let's rewind. What is going on with Tony? I'm going to tell you what's going on with Tony. Tony out here spreading it low. What is it? Laying it low and spreading it wide. And honey, she done slept with JT. She done slept with Lewis. And she done slept with a multitude of men. We do find out that Lewis, you are the father. We find that information out because, again, at the end of the last episode, Jack sees Lewis. She recognizes his frame. She recognizes his bandaged hand. She recognizes that is Lewis at the DNA place, figuring out who the baby daddy was. So they're having to go through a whole lot of stuff with that. But let's get to the DA resting their case. So the DA talks with Tony about JT, and she talks with Tony in regards to some text messages that Chanel sent her. Chanel did not know that her and JT were having sexual relationships until she found out that they were having sexual relationships. She sent her some text messages and things like that. And the DA was establishing that that might be a motive as to why JT was killed. Tony basically said that her and Chanel were friends, and Chanel had no idea that she had been sleeping with JT. And when she found out, Chanel sent her some text messages, which she should have sent her something, either send her some text messages or confronted her directly. But she decided to send her some text messages. We get that information. Jax was able to cross-examine her. And then, baby, if you'd have seen the looks and the way that they cut their eyes towards each other, I thought Tony thought that she was going to ask her about Lewis, but she didn't. She kept it real professional, and she went over all the information to get Tony to recognize that Tony was out here laying it low and spreading it wide, and that she didn't have at this point, that she didn't have any idea who her baby daddy was at this point. So it could be JT, it could be somebody else. So they were able to do that. And so now the prosecution has rested, and now the defense is able to establish their defense. Now, partly what they're looking at is the information coming from the FBI. They've gotten all these boxes and things like that from the FBI. Corey is looking at the defense, making sure that they are all on one accord about what the defense is going to be. I don't remember if they stated what the defense is, but they're all on one accord about what the defense is going to be. They all are pretty much understanding that Chanel did not understand or know that JT was, I just want to say, is laundering money for the gambling operation, or they were hiding it from the gambling operation. I'm not really sure. But she wasn't, in other words, she was not culpable in regards to that money. It was in her name. It was all the thing. But all of that was about JT doing what he was doing. Baby, this whole episode had me in my feels. Okay, let's get to the DA lady. All right, real quick. The secretary is studying for the bar. She didn't want to tell Jax. She ended up telling Jax, and Jax was like giving her her blessing about that. Jax was okay about her studying for the bar. So that little side story is just what it is, a little side story. So the secretary is studying for the LSAT. She's going to sit not for the bar, but she wants to go and study law, go to law school. So we're good and we're all right with that. Let's get with the DA. So apparently, this man, Peter, I think his name is. Y'all don't quote me down in the comments. I think his name is Peter. He's apparently he is her ex-husband. Apparently, the ex-husband had been in jail. Apparently, she has been moving away from this ex-husband, and this ex-husband has shown up to where she's at, because remember last episode she saw that her tires had been slashed. And so now we realize that this ex-husband is doing all of this stuff. Uh, he's probably doing way too much for the ground. We don't really know exactly what it is, but it's enough that the DA is spooked, because remember last episode she was late for the court hearing. So we know that she is spooked. Homeboy done showed up at her job with flowers and all this other stuff, wanting her to give him another chance, blah, 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 blah. She has him removed from the premises. And then we see, after she has him removed from the premises, he has her served. Now, I couldn't read what they were, but it probably has something to do with their child, possibly custody. You never know. We'll find that out next episode. So we got that little side thing. Honestly, with this little side thing, they really could have kept that, because I'm not really, I mean, this I think we got like maybe 8 to 10 episodes in this whole series, and they're waiting to the 7th episode to kind of really give us some information in regards to this husband. I think that they could have built this up probably when Chanel went on the run or anything like that, but it just seems like to me something, just a throwaway plot. Really, there's really no big, I thought it was going to build up into something, and I thought it was going to build up into something that was going to cross-reference her case, but it just seems like a little side quest to get the DA to feel some compassion for Chanel. Possibly, I don't know. But it's just it's a side little thing, but it hasn't panned out as I thought it would pan out. I thought that we would learn much sooner what was going on. She called because again, the DA called Arizona or New Mexico. I can't remember which one of those two states. And he was supposed to still be in jail. And now he's out of jail. All of these little different things. She's in, and then she's had a glow up. Y'all noticed that? She's had some kind of glow up. She was looking very plain looking and had no makeup and all this other stuff. Now all of a sudden she's gotten this big glow up. Did I miss something in the past 2 episodes? That did the DA tell her she needed to do a little glow up? What happened? Because honey, she's all in her makeup. She's got her hair all bobbed up versus her having her hair pulled back and all this other stuff. Did I miss something? Because I'm just trying to figure out, again, even if I did miss anything, I'm just looking at that storyline with the DA. It hasn't given what it should have gave. I was thinking that it was going to intersect with her case, but it has not at this point. And again, I think we have I think this goes maybe 10 episodes we do, because I think last year was 10 episodes. I think we got probably 10 episodes and we're in episode 7 and it hasn't intersected. So maybe this is the end of that, but it hasn't given what it was supposed to have gave. And I'm going to just keep on going. Baby, let's get to Jackson Lewis, honey. Because at the beginning of this episode, remember I told you at the end of the last episode, Jax found out that it was Lewis standing there about the DNA test. And she confronted him this episode. They go to counseling and everything like that. Jax says all what she needed to say. She thought he was this and he wasn't nothing but that little Negro that was out here, laying it low and spreading it wide. And he countered with her, you sit up here and you decide to have carnal relations with the ex-con, and then this man tries to kill you, you still come back to me. They're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with this issue. And it's affecting Jax, it's affecting her case. She even mentions it to Chanel, and she also mentions it to Sally. And Sally has a little burr up her tail with Jax, like, you need to be doing whatever you need to do to make sure that my cousin gets off, all of this other stuff. But you know me, my side eye says that Sally has something to do with this murder, or again, it's one of the children that has something to do with this murder. But anyway, we'll continue. You still see the husband not sleeping in the room with Sally. And Sally is still upset with that. She's upset with the husband. But again, you all are married. You all are a couple. He made it very clear. He stated his reasonings why they should not put up their home for Chanel. And then Chanel skips bail. So now you have a situation where your house and all of this other stuff, you all are liable for. So if you had something to do with it, now is the time to let your husband know so he can understand the reasoning behind what you're doing. Since you're not telling him anything, he's still thinking that you are doing stuff behind his back. Y'all are not working as a couple, as a team. So he's not going to go in there and sleep in the bed with you, because he basically said what his piece was, and you went against that, knowing that it was going to cost you some stuff. You just thought you were just going to be able to do what you wanted to do, and it wasn't going to hinder or cause any issues within your relationship. And Sally, you were wrong. But again, I think Sally had something to do with it, or she knew, or she knows who the person was that bopped JT on the head. So let's get to Lewis. Child, I was in my feelings. I was crying. Lewis is still in love with his wife. He gets with his therapist. They both have to do couples therapy, and the counselor decided that he wanted them to do individual therapy. They both go through their individual therapy sessions and whatnot. We have a situation, and both say their piece. They both love each other, but and also this episode was flashbacks, like how Lewis and Jax met, how they were operating as a couple, how they participated in some non-traditional sexual relations, going to, looks like a little swingers club or whatever it was. So this is the normal for the couple. So we're going to see I guess what comes of that. But all in all, even all those different things, because like I said, if that's what you all want to do and you all have an agreement that that's okay, I'm cool. But once y'all start rocking boats and start doing things, Jax was wrong last season for giving Damien a little piece. This season, Lewis was wrong for sleeping with Tony. And by the way, we do find out that the baby is Lewis's. So if third season come along, that's going to be some issues and problems with that. Now let's get with Corey real quick. Corey is feeling some feelings for Jax, and he made his move, but Jax thwarted him. He was going to try to get Jax to give him a little bit. And I think Jax was willing, but I think her love for Lewis has overridden that. Child, they played some Luther, House is Not a Home. And I'm Gen X, so I was in my feelings about that. House is not a home. Oh, I was in my feelings about that. Lewis comes in. He gives his speech to Jax about how he just knows, all he knows is how to love her. Even in her, who she is and who she presents, that's what he knows. He knows he messed up. So it's just a matter of, will Jax forgive him or will she not? And basically that is the episode. But we do want to go into our little what we do every week. Chanel, what you did, boo? So here we have, and I told you I was going to go over some of the stuff, because right now it's really looking like Chanel didn't do it. And I think that the jury is kind of feeling it, but it's gonna take the defense to bring it home. So we're gonna go over real quick what's going on right now in regards to the limo guy and this gambling ring. All of that has just been answered for us, as you can see over here. All of this is basically have been answered for us. Black limousine side. So if I put it in white, it has basically been answered for us. I don't think there's anything over here that has not been answered for us at this point. Again, Adrian, we do know that he was in love with Chanel, and he was doing that. He was doing this under the guise of JT with all this gambling and stuff like that. Don't know what's going to come of it. We do know that the feds are working on it. But let's get into the new stuff we're looking at. DA lady, who is slashing tires and stalking you? Well, we find out it's your ex-husband. Jax, what will you do when you find out about Lewis and Tony? We see what she did. She was very upset, and then she still had to get up there and cross-examine that woman. I know that made her angry, and she was humiliated. Corey making moves on Jax. What's the end game? And I think the end game has everything to do with his father basically saying that you need a good woman by your side in order for you to reach the heights that you need to reach as far as a man. And I guess he looks at Jax as being that woman for him. But Jax is married. She has a family. She loves and she's committed to her family. So what is Corey's end game? Is he going to tank this case to get Jax? What's really his end game? Jax and Lewis, do you want to fight for your marriage? I think that they do. They're going to have to overcome a lot of different obstacles. I think it's a good step that they are in couples therapy and they are in individual therapy. I know Jax is in individual therapy. So it's really just basically deciding what they want to do if they want to fight for this marriage. Again, the secretary studying for the bar. Side little thing. It's a cute little thing. Yes, go study for the bar, boo, if that's what you want to do. Tony. She's going to now be a problem because that's Lewis's baby mama now. And so now they're going to have to talk to the kids about this. They're going to have to talk with her folks, his folks, everybody, because there's a baby coming in between. So we're going to see something like that. And it just hit me, y'all, because every season, it looks like so for right now, we're looking at things going on in Jax's life. Is Tony going to end up dim-dotted and we're going to think that it's Lewis? Or we're going to get a fresh case. I'm hoping we get a fresh case, but that will be an interesting case within itself. Sally and her husband. Sally, what are you hiding? Your husband is sleeping on the couch. What are you hiding? Why are you not conferring with your husband about the things you need to confer with? Y'all, it's getting good. This episode had me in my feels. We didn't learn as much as I thought we were going to learn, but we did learn that Lewis is the father of the baby. We've learned that. We also learned that Lewis and Jax we had some flashback episodes about how they met, how they got married, how they worked out the things that they needed to work out within their marriage. So we need to get to the conclusion of this court case. Something's going to have to start moving. Some information is going to have to start moving. Is there some videotapes coming through the house? Is what's going on? Because we need to figure out who was the person that popped JT in the head. And we have not had any movement on that. Is it Sally that popped him on the head? Was it Adrian that popped him on the head? Was it one of her children that popped him on the head? We need to figure out who was in that house at that time with Chanel, that Chanel would risk going to jail to make sure that those people are okay. So we have to really get into this hump of this kind of stuff. We really need to get into this. We really need to get into it now because we're getting ready to get out of this information. We should be well over this hump. There should be some speculation or something that we know that it's somebody else that was in that house, because it was somebody who had access to that house, who could move freely within that house. So we need to know who that person was, and we need to get that information in. All right, people. This is all I got. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.